Quote of the week: worrying is like praying for something you don't want. So stop worrying. Bhagavan Das. Hi, and welcome everybody. It's Jason Barlow, RMT, and I'm here today as your therapist and as your coach to help you transform any stress, tension, and pain into health, happiness, and vitality. I remember back when I was quite young, I might have been 8, 9 years of age, and I would spend a lot of my time worrying. I was going through such a stage of anxiety and worry, and I remember making some furious notes as if it was a way for me to just download, decompress my day. Loving parents, that wasn't an issue, but I was struggling with something, and it was my way of trying to channel it and get it out. And I remember those struggles I would go through, and I would struggle to get to sleep. I'd then struggle throughout the day because I was tired from the night before. Eventually, it led to the point where I was going through a lot of anxiety as junior high age child. So coming in the UK, we have it as high school. High school goes from grade 7 through 10, essentially. So we're graduating high school age 16. So here I was, grade 7, age 12, coming to a high school with guys walking around with mustaches. I didn't know quite where I was. I was out of my comfort zone for sure. And I remember going through quite a lot of anxiety and wanting to go to school. Again, that anxiety led to eventually for me, now with my training and understanding, I understand the psychosomatic influence of stress and worry. For me, that boiled down to it getting to a point of a grumbling, almost a ruptured appendix, and I had to be rushed into hospital. And that was a process on its own. And then as I discovered basketball and got myself on a journey that took me to a point where I was actually starting to understand more about myself, my body, my mind, that's what led me into this career in this field. And when I was 16, I picked up my first book, which I shared with you guys a few weeks ago. If you are curious as to which one that is, just jump back to a few weeks ago. It was a book by Tony Robbins called Unlimited Power. And that really started to open my mind to the idea of how we can change our mind. We can actually train our mind to prevent anxiety, to actually curb it, prevent it, and actually even stop it completely. So that's a little bit of my story. And I remember being taught by a Buddhist monk a few years ago, which ties in with this quote beautifully, that the simple question boils down to, and this is in the description below if you want to remember it, just go and refer to that. Do you have a problem? No. Then why worry? Do you have a problem? Yes. Is there a solution? No. Then why worry? Do you have a problem? Yes. Is there a solution? Yes. Then why worry? Beautiful when you think about that. Just contemplate that this week of how, given any situation, it's our choice whether we worry or not. And as Bhagavan Das is sharing in this beautiful quote, that worrying is like praying for something you don't want. So what is a prayer? Prayer is just simply a wish. It's an intention. And if we are so wrapped up in a problem, and very often if we check, there's two types of problems. There's an outer problem and an inner problem. And the outer problem is usually the car's broken down, the kids aren't listening, the dog's run away, the book's not arrived on, whatever, right? There's countless outer problems, but ultimately it's the inner problem that we've got to be the one we have to be most responsible for. I'm going to say that again. It's our inner problem that we have to take full accountability for. Nobody's going to come and check that for us. Nobody's going to come and correct it for us. That is our potential for worrying or not. Our inner problem creates that worry, creates that anxiety. If we curb and control that inner problem of unpleasant feeling, then we don't have a problem. Now we might view that car broken down, the kids aren't listening, as an opportunity instead for practicing patience. That takes practice. That takes training, without shadow of a doubt. I'm going to put my hand up here. I'm a busy father of 4 boys. I know what it's like being under a lot of pressure, multitasking, kids aren't listening. And I'm certainly not perfect, but I can tell you this, that over the last 16 years since discovering Buddhism and meditation, it's a measurable difference in how I approach in dealing with those challenging situations, those outer problems that are just going to keep coming. And we're having a big one as a global situation right now with this pandemic. I just wanted to finish that touches in with this worrying is like praying for something you don't want, because think about this. Does your cat worry? Does your dog worry? Does a deer worry? Does a cougar worry? And some domestic animals, yeah, we might, we get a sense of certain dogs and cats, they have anxieties and so forth. I just question if they have the capacity to worry to the same degree that we do. And especially a wild animal. They may briefly reflect on what's just happened, but then they get on with the rest of their life. And Professor Sapolsky has done some exceptional research and looked at these native baboons in Africa and discovered that they have high stress, but they have a long window of recovery in between those bouts of stress. And that typically when that bout of stress has taken place and it's a fight or flight situation, they're not spending too much time afterwards meandering about it, worrying about it. They're just moving on to the next thing that's coming up in their lives, typically seeking food, seeking a mate, or the next problem that's coming their way. We as humans have the capacity, which is that it just, this is actually showing us our potential. The fact that we can worry, the fact that we can get anxious, if you think about it, is just actually illustrating the potential of our mind. Because I know I've had this experience. When we feel anxious about something, our mind has this capacity to expand that anxiety, really dwell and exaggerate upon what could actually play out. And very often, what plays out is like a tenth of what, or maybe 100th of what we were actually considering. So what's that showing us? It's showing us how we can train our mind, the capacity of our mind. If we just learn to nurture that mind, instead of going down the pathway of worry and anxiety, and we nurtured and we expanded the mind of patience and love and compassion, wow. What that does to your physiology is magnificent. It's transformative. There's tons of research. I'm pointing to my books on my back shelves here because I collect them. Tons of research to illustrate that a positive mindset has such a magnificent effect upon your biology and physiology, your digestive system, the way that you heal, the way that you sleep, the way that you communicate. Radical. So if you do nothing else this week, but just contemplate this quote of the week and then see how that ties into your day-to-day, and then just pay attention this week. Just pay attention to, yeah, that's some worry, that's some anxiety coming up. Stop it. Just say to yourself at that point, stop it. It's an illustration of what I can do with my mind, but I'm going to stop that and I'm going to go down this pathway instead. Just choose a different mindset. Just choose a positive mindset as opposed to this one that's going to just suck energy from you. It's not going to help the situation. Just focus over here instead. Patience, accept what it is that's arisen. Okay, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I view this as a good thing instead of a bad thing? What is this teaching me? What are they teaching me? And then proceed to try and apply an antidote. And there's tons out there. You try and figure out what those antidotes are for you this week. So thank you for joining me if you've been able to join me live. Remember, go get my book whilst it's still free. In the next couple of weeks here, we're going to be pulling that off the website, and it's just going to be a free chapter, which is still going to be very beneficial, of course, but this is going to be in a package. It's going to be a course that we're offering. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, remember, your muscle health is my #1 priority. That's why I'm here. Every Mondays, I like to do my quote of the week, and then it's something to consider for the week as you go on, and especially Mondays, right? But a lot of people find Mondays a challenge because it's the first day back of work week. And it's been, again, proven what the impact that has on people's health. Anyway, we shall get into that another day. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate your time. And please share this, as well as please like it and share a review, either on a podcast, on Facebook, YouTube. Really appreciate it. Helps me grow, helps me expand, helps me reach more people who can grow and expand. So until next time, join me tomorrow. I've got my move of the week coming up. Thank you.